All right. Let's go ahead and get this meeting started. We do apologize. We took a little break because we were down there for 2 hours, and yeah. So, we'll start from the bottom. PB, you can just let me know if you here. That's a here. Okay, Dive.
Yep.
Cody.
Hi.
Cam Hizzle, my Nizzle.
Hey.
C481.
Present.
Kami.
Here.
Dow.
Hi.
Travis.
Present.
Jazzer.
Present.
IMAX.
I'm here.
Javi. Here. Francis.
If I don't fall asleep.
Trox.
Present.
DL.
Yo.
And Kicks.
I believe I'm here.
Alright, it's all yours.
Alright guys, well, welcome to another installment of the Squad 55 All Hands meeting. I just got a few things to go over for myself here. Let's go right down the list. Obviously right now, as of February 28th, at 8 o'clock Eastern, we have 84 active members. That is counting the 2 recruits that we have. Membership has been down a little bit, but it is expected because of the time of the year it is in school and all that. We expect that to kind of go back up probably around end of April. It's usually when it starts to spike up again. No donations this month, leaving us at a balance on our account of $456.22. That is US dollars. I believe it's 600 in Canadian. That's how Blackout likes to leave it, so it's a little annoying, but so makes me look a little happy. Then I go down and I go, oh. So yeah, $456.22. We haven't had any purchases except for the TeamSpeak. We were refunded from CG servers, and we did purchase with the donations a 256 slot Hamachi per request of the person donating, Francis, of how much his donation was. So we do have the Hamachi, and we do have the new TeamSpeak. We haven't, from what I've been told by my officers, we haven't had any problems. It seems everything seems to be running okay, and we haven't had any, lag or DDoS. Seems like someone was, specifically attacking us the last month. So it seems to have stopped. If not, the new protection on the server is working.
User joined your channel.
Speaking of Hamachi, I'm going to post something at the bottom.
While he's posting that, guys, just a heads up real quick. The way it's going to work for the new members is we'll go down a list with the chiefs, then the captains, lieutenants, and fire marshals, everybody that. And then at the end, every member will have an opportunity to express anything that they would like to in the meeting.
Just want to make sure I have it correctly. On Hamachi, your username has to look like that. It has to have your ID number in the brackets and your username afterwards. That way it has the list in order, and we know that you are a member. If you join with a different username or don't update it right away, you do risk of being kicked. I do try to keep up on it, and you will be removed. I won't even care if you're playing a game. I will remove you. So make sure you do have it updated, and it is set like that.
I have a question about the kicks real quick.
What?
I think it was brought up to me. This is the squad's Hamachi. What if we have a friend that wants to play a game with us during land? Can he join it and use it and then just leave right when he's done if we have like a Squad 55 guest or something?
User disconnected from your channel.
I mean, we have the slots. I don't have a problem with it as long as they disconnect. What are you using this for? Like another game or emergency?
Another game for like Civilization or, something that we play differently. If he's not part of the clan, it's just, we need a Hamachi.
Well, I mean, you probably could just make your own Hamachi. Just do on the free 5 slot ones.
We could. It was just a question.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but then if other people start doing it and it gets kind of out of control, and I mean, those people aren't going to log off, I guarantee it. Because I mean, everyone else forgets. So I would just say no and just keep it like that.
I agree. I think maybe the only exception would be is if you needed a sixth slot or something like that, then maybe it could be something we look at on a as-needed basis. But in general, I think that it would be preferred to use a personal free Hamachi.
User joined your channel.
I do not know why you guys are talking on Hamachi, but yeah. But obviously there's someone that just joined Hamachi, desktop 2QB. Make sure you change that, otherwise I'll be removing here in the next 2 minutes. Same with JR911. So that's just something that we kind of try to keep everything in order. It helps us, and it really points out who doesn't belong. So definitely get that updated. You can change your username by hitting System, Preferences, and then you'll see a thing that says Name, and hit Change, and you just type it in there.
And to correct you, just to make sure, ID number not 55-C1 or 55 what a F.
If you're an officer, you can put your rank.
Got it.
Yeah. For the staff meeting, yeah, sorry that took a little while. We kind of had some stuff we had to talk about. There were no votes. We didn't have any SOP changes or rule changes. Everything is the same. Everything went pretty well. Just talked about some training, some new training topics that Eddie's going to talk about.
Hey.
And I do have one thing, and I do know this is going to be a discussion. So just hold off until I'm done, and then we will happily answer any questions and listen to you or listen to anything you have to say about this next topic. Let me have a drink because I know this is going to be long. Alright. Officers playing in other channels. Alright. I'm just going to first put this out there. Officers, lieutenants, captains, chiefs, fire marshals, they are allowed to play other games. They do not have to play Emergency 4 24/7. They do a lot of trainings, a lot of paperwork, a lot of behind-the-scenes work. It can get very frustrating at times, and yes, there are days and maybe some months that some people just don't want to play Emergency 4 as much, especially in the higher command staff, which I will get to in a sec of why. Lieutenants obviously train a lot. We do have a fine training command staff that takes care of that and watches the lieutenants, and they all talk to each other, and there is notes and records of who's doing trainings. We know how many trainings people have done. I mean, Francis has done like 40 something. So I'm hearing some complaints of myself and some other chiefs, and I guess the liaisons are hearing complaints that, you know, there's some chiefs or some lieutenants and some captains that are playing some other games and they don't want to play an Emergency 4 game. Well, the chiefs and the command staff are a last resort for training. If they're available to do it, they will do it. There are some days that they are not going to want to play a game, and the reason why is because we go through hours upon hours, which is fine, of dealing with complaints, PAFs, issues, people, you know, being, you know, disrespectful or misbehaving, and we have to deal with it. I mean, I had to spend 4 hours on my phone the other day at work to deal with some things. I know myself, DL, and Fire at 1 do a lot of member activity checks, and we're staring at a screen sometimes for an hour, over an hour on that alone. So sometimes looking at that stuff and looking at everything that's emergency for, it just doesn't want to make you play. There are months, I will say, that we do go up and down like a wave, that we want to play a lot and we don't want to play a lot. It happens to everyone, and training staff has every right as just a member to go on and off. I mean, our membership requirements is to play 1 game every 2 weeks. Obviously, we hold officers to a higher standard, and we do, and that's why we keep track of everything. But to hear that people are upset because we're playing another game and we won't play 1 training game with them, that's pretty upsetting. I mean, there's a lot of work my staff does, including myself, and to people to say that they can't play a game of another sort. I mean, I have officers that can't even come on TeamSpeak when they're playing because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble or yelled at, or make members upset because they won't do a training game. We understand you guys want to do training games, and that's good. That's fantastic. But there are just times that you're not going to be able to get it done. I mean, sometimes you guys message us, and it's the time ours is 1 a.m. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing a training game at 1 a.m. It just isn't happening. There are some lieutenants and stuff that will do that, and that's great. But that is their primary and only role, to do trainings.
Yeah, guys, just to jump in real quick, you have to understand that, I mean, we can sit here all day, and we've been doing it for years, saying that the officer staff has a lot of work to do. As members, I wish there was a way y'all can see it, and I mean, I really do wish there was a way you can see it. It's ridiculous, and we're not complaining, but you got 4 people trying to manage 80-something other people. I mean, the chief staff, every single time we get on, we have something to do. And like I said, we're not complaining about it, it's just a lot of work. And, it's always been a common understanding here in the squad that as the higher you go up in the ranks, the less you interact with members. That's just the way it is. That's why it was so hard for me to get Hobby to a captain, because he knew that when he was a captain, he wouldn't be interacting as much as the lieutenants. You're never going to have in real life a chief going into a structure as much as a lieutenant going into a structure with a firefighter. It's just not the way it is. We're the admin staff, and we're not supposed to be as active with the members as lieutenants. We could if we want to, but our job is admin. That's our job. Our job is not primary training, and we're not going to be, like I said, as active with the members as the lieutenants. The lower you go down on the list, the more active you are with the members, and it's a lot of work that we have to do. It is really a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, just like I said, this was, I guess, directed as much as the lieutenants and captains as much as the chiefs, but the lieutenants and stuff do a lot of trainings, and we do keep track of that. There are probably more than likely going to be certain staff members moving around positions here because of some things. Because of that, we do keep an eye on that, and we do watch it. So, from what we're hearing is it's just members that are getting other members round up to start, I guess you can say, an argument, which usually happens during an all-hands meeting, is just childish and just not the time to do it. We do have a PAF system. I can tell you it's not new. We've had it for 7 years. You can use it if you see something like that, and you can bring it to our attention. It doesn't have to be just because it's a PAF. It doesn't have to be on a certain member or something. You can just put it in. I think we've only had one about something like this, but we've heard multiple complaints from other people and say, why haven't you put PAFs in? And then we can sit down and we can talk to you and explain to you what happens, so we don't have to do this. It really shouldn't have to get to this. I mean, like I said, these guys up here do a lot of work, and and for you guys want to move up and become staff members too, you're going to see it. I mean, you guys are going to be staff members one day. I mean, we have a very high turnover rate because there's so much work to do and so much stress.
Because of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much work and so much stress. It's a very high turnover rate, and more than likely, you guys are going to be all officers at some point. And as you climb the ranks, you'll see there's more and more work. I mean, it's a second job. It really is, and we're doing it all for free to make sure you guys are having a good time and having fun. And it's just, yeah. So.
Your channel.
So, with that being out there, DL, if you have something to say, go ahead.
So I think you just put it the best way, is we're doing this for free. We're not getting paid, but the hours we put in are like having another part-time job on top of our full-time careers. So to expect us to say, okay, I've just done another 5 hours of work, and instead of sitting and relaxing and talking with the guys, I have to do a training, that's unrealistic. We need to be able to have some time to recuperate and recover, because we are working an extra 15, 20 hours a week, minimum.
Yeah, probably more. So, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of stuff you guys aren't seeing, but, I mean, we wanted to bring that to your attention. Because of this issue, and I know that there has been multiple statements made by multiple members, and I know who they are. So, if you have something to say it, and we will happily answer your questions.
About this topic is what we're talking
Yes,
about.
about this topic.
My questions were already answered when I had my meeting with them.
Okay, I have one thing to comment about this issue, if anybody else higher than me has anything to say. So, I only have one issue with you guys playing other games. I understand you need breaks. I've been an officer before. I understand the workload. I also understand the fact that you guys need a break, just, to relax and calm down. I've had, and I mean, if you want me to file a PAF about it, I will. But I wanted to come to you guys first. I've had 2 or 3 separate occasions that I have had 2 other members and myself waiting to do a training game at like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And, we've had officers down in H1Z1 or down in, another gaming, channel down there that I poke one of them, or I try to get their attention, and they either just blatantly ignore me, or they pretty much tell me to go screw myself because they're too busy playing their other game when we have trainings that need to be done, and there are no other officers online. I understand the chiefs and, the higher-ups are the last people that should be doing trainings because we have so many captains and we have so many lieutenants. But at the same time, I just kind of feel it's disrespectful when you guys are playing a game and we have, an active probie or, probationary member or an active, level 1 certified member who wants to advance his career in Squad 55, and you guys just say, no, I'm not going to do it just because there's no other officer online.
Well, here's my question.
So that's pretty much...
Here's my question. Did we put any forms on here whatsoever? On the scheduled training games?
That I don't know. I'm just saying. I understand the scheduled training things are semi-new, but I just wanted to put it out there.
We understand that, and I can side with you on that a little. The fact that we were on, but see, right now the way it is, the mentality I feel it is if an officer is on, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but if an officer is on, they're expected to do their job. And as of right now, like I said, we have officers who just don't want to get on because it's no longer the days where an officer can get on and play another game. That can't happen anymore. If an officer's on and playing another game, he's going to get a PF out against him because he's not doing his job, which is squad stuff.
And see, honestly, it's a shame that it's come to that. It really is. And like I stated before, I mean, I'm as guilty as charged. I go down and I play Farm Sim, or I play ATS when there's nobody else on. But it's just unfortunate that we have a probationary member who wants to advance in the squad and actually become a full-time member, and then an officer just says, oh, I'm not going to do your training because it's too late. And I mean, I'm not trying to cause an argument or anything like that. I don't want that. I don't want any bad blood between any of us. But I just figured I'd bring the issue up, and see if I could get an answer.
We understand that, and that's why we're having this discussion. And I think I know it was one or two of the situations you have arose, but I don't. The thing is I know the one for sure. Um, we did do what, I don't know, Eddie, 2 training games or something before that, and we weren't even supposed to. We were supposed to be playing again because we set a schedule, from another day, saying, hey, we're going to do this because that's when we're going to be on, and we're going to do our little thing, our side game. So we actually ended up doing 2 training games, and then usually when we get halfway into H1Z1, as you guys say, we start getting messages and everything of you wanted to do ops games and training games and stuff. I mean, it'd be a lot easier. I'll even sit there and we'll be playing H1Z1 or Farm Sim or American Truck Sim or Battlefield, and when you guys poke and we say, we can't, we're busy right now, maybe, and we'll even say sometimes maybe later, I never see a message on the looking for game thing on the Voxer, or a message in the forums or anything. I mean, you guys are just going right on the people on TeamSpeak. You can always put something on Voxer and stuff and get other people and see. You don't have to just go right to the person that's on TeamSpeak. Yes, I can say we can try and fix that to an extent of helping other people get their training and stuff, like on a situation like that. But a lot of these other things, and I know H1Z1 is the biggest thing. I know it is because it's been in every report. But
User joined your channel.
We usually end up doing training games before we even play that to avoid that. And if they don't come on till late, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, if you're going to be on late, try to start scheduling a game, and then we can know that you want to play, and we can work around it.
And that's hopefully what the assigned training structures are going to kind of fix, which I'll talk about later. But that's one of the reasons why we are kind of bringing them back, to get that whole scheduled mentality going.
Now, what if people don't have Voxer?
Well, then they can go on the forums. I never see things on the forums.
I mean, every officer should have a Voxer. I'm pretty sure it's required as an officer
Well, he's
to have
talking
a
about
Voxer.
members.
So, members?
Yeah, I'm talking about members. Now,
well, I'm sure someone in that room is going to have a Voxer.
Well, like yesterday, for instance, we pretty much sat on here all day yesterday waiting for this zombie thing to happen, and I signed up for 2 of them. I know for sure.
Yeah,
and
talk
nobody
about
showed
that when
up.
you're done.
So that's why I was kind of.
Now we're getting off topic.
That's not off topic. It's the same thing.
Yeah, we can answer that question. So about the Voxer thing.
Hold on. Let's finish this discussion first. About the whole other game thing. Then we'll go into so we don't get everybody confused, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So the other game thing, I think what we're trying to do is, half of me sees it as a problem and half of me doesn't, of the whole. Right now we're in the whole phase where if you get on, a member can get on and he is expecting to do a training game that day. And that's good, but it's also bad, because then we can have members that are getting on, like, okay, if I wake up and I'm a member this morning and I say I'm going to get on TeamSpeak, I'm going to get on TeamSpeak, I'm going to do my training game today. Well, you can have that mentality, but what if an officer's not available? You never scheduled it ahead of time, and then if you don't get it done, you end up going to not want to come back because you think it's not active and stuff. But that's why I really push for the schedule things, because if you schedule a game, you know that I'm not going to be sitting here on all day. I'm going to only come on a specific time, and I know that officer is already going to be on because I scheduled him ahead of time. And that's why I'm trying to get back to this whole schedule things, because right now the mentality is, like I said, we get on and we expect an officer to be on. If they're not on, then it's a bust and we can't get our training done, and that's mostly what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, even playing just normal ops games, I know for a fact, because I've seen it happen, there'll be an officer in one game and 3 members in another game, but just because that officer said he can't play right now, that officer, it's his fault. It's his fault that the can't get a game going. But there's 3 other members that won't play either, but they don't say anything about that.
I've always been under the strong mentality that ops games are random and training games should be scheduled. That's the way I've always thought about it, and I think it makes sense, and right now we're not doing that.
We used to do that.
I know we did, and I'm not saying we have to go back to it. I'm just saying that's I think that's part of the issue. We have members that are just on all day because they don't have nothing scheduled, and then they get upset, which I don't blame y'all when a lieutenant or something's not on that can't do their training.
I mean, just to bring it to light, we will try to work better on our part, but not a lot because I stand next to all my officers, and I mean, I say they deserve a break and they're allowed to play other games. But we will work a little bit on our part to make it somewhat more convenient. But that's about it.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I have, the utmost respect for you guys and all the work that you do to make this an enjoyable experience for all of us. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here, who thinks that. So I think you guys deserve a thank you. I really do. I mean, with all the paperwork and everything that you do. But, it's just the little things. It's nothing major. It's just the little things that I would like to see changed.
I understand that. It's just when we hear stuff from like multiple people and multiple sources, and no one's coming to us and telling us, it makes it. It makes it sound 10 times worse. And I don't think this problem seemed. I mean, I think this problem seemed a lot worse than it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
we had like 15
you guys,
meetings before this trying to figure out how we're gonna do this.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, you guys need to like come to us or just file PF. Just because you file PF doesn't mean it's affecting anyone. You can just submit it just to bring it to our attention. And you have the liaisons. You can, submit the forms to them or talk to them, and they'll come discuss it if you don't want to talk to us directly or something, or have a big group. And then that way there's, one person speaking on all of you. So it's not like 19 different stories. So, I mean, you have the liaisons as well.
Well, there's been times where I've said something to higher ups and I was told to deal with it.
Well, but then who did you come to after that? Like, if you know personally, if an officer tells you to deal with it, that is wrong, and you need to come to the next higher officer and tell them he said that. Unless it was the chief that told you that, then that's wrong.
No, never the chiefs. It's usually like.
You don't have to say names. Yeah, go ahead, Kix.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, we always, try to get you guys to follow the ranks so that way you can go through this system. But if it's not being dealt with, or you really feel like it's an urgent matter or something they can't handle, then yeah, come to us and we'll take care of it. Ditto, did you have something?
I was gonna say, make sure you guys actually. I mean, if an officer says that they're busy and stuff like that, I've been there twice before too, and just respect them. Don't go and harass them, or not even. I wouldn't even say harass, but just keep bugging them about it. If they tell you no, just respect that and go on. Don't keep bugging them about that, because that's not gonna make them want to do it. Because I know in the past that's made me less wanting to help people.
Yeah, I agree with Ditto. I've been there 3 times before, and it's. It's not, it's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, I got officers that are afraid to come on TeamSpeak if they play another game, and I don't think that's right. I mean, we pay for this TeamSpeak for our members and our officers, and I mean, they should be able to come on here and play a different game if they want to that day, or need to take a break or something without. I mean, obviously, if you guys ask them, they say no, that's fine, but. I mean, I know a couple of them have told me like they'll just keep getting pokes and messages and posts like every 5 minutes, and they even tell them like, no, I can't right now, or I'm a little busy, maybe later, and they just keep getting poked. So,
let's go to
DL.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so yeah, I guess we'll continue down DL. I mean, obviously, if you guys have anything else, just wait to see your turn, and we'll discuss anything then.
Real quick, may I ask, what the hell happened to Zombie Day?
Yeah, I can explain that.
There's a lot of people who are wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I'll let Eddie discuss that.
So the Zombie Day was put up because we were trying to keep up with the event every month. We didn't get no donations, so we were still going to do it. We just weren't going to be able to take out the Steam gift cards. I scheduled it, and I made up all the rules and stuff. About 2 weeks ago, I was informed that I wouldn't be able to make it that night. And I informed the Chiefs that I wouldn't be able to make it that night. And from what I heard on the Voxer, DL was on. I wasn't here, so I can't say. I mean, on my part, I wasn't able to make it because I had to go to work and work at the fire station with Javi. And I don't know if it happened or not. Like I said, I wasn't here that night, so that's what I can say on me.
That didn't happen whatsoever. We had a couple members who had signed up for a shift that were here, and we ended up playing a game, just a normal ops game. But yeah, no, never happened.
Yeah, that was a flaw on the officer's part. I mean, we kind of did a last minute make an event, and then it just seemed like no one became available that night. So
are we gonna end up rescheduling that?
yeah, we'll probably reschedule that and decide how we're gonna do this. But yeah, that was. Yeah, Eddie, who's in charge of the events? DL. DL will come up with something, and we'll figure something out from there.
So next time, can we get like a heads up or something? Because yeah, we were on for quite a while waiting. And
well, I mean, I can't say I wasn't here, but I don't know if these guys were they on. Was there any Chiefs on or anything?
No,
I wasn't. I was at work. I told you I worked that day.
Did you guys discussed it in between all your, all the Chiefs and everything, like who was going to be on and stuff like that, right? So you could make this day happen?
Well, we did, and then Eddie got called in the work.
I understand last minute things. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Or some of us that run at a volunteer house, you don't know when your page is going to go off. So that sort of thing is, it's always going to happen. But I don't know. In my opinion, it kind of wasn't organized somewhat, yet was at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, at the last minute, well, not at the last minute, 2 weeks before I said I wasn't going to be able to come. I'm not throwing DL underneath the bus. I don't know. He probably had something to come up, but he did say he was going to be here on Voxer about 2 hours before the event, and I guess he just caught in or something. We did have a chief that was going to be on. I just don't know.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted an answer, like what happened. I just didn't know. So now I do. Cool.
That brings us to another. Yeah, I had another thing, but I'll talk into my turn.
Speaking of that, before I hand it off to DL real quick, February 16th was our anniversary date. We have made it 7 years. Obviously, February 16th, 2009. So, good job, guys. So, longest lasting
just
clan
saying,
emergency
it says
force.
19th on the forums.
Does it say 19?
Yeah, it's the 19th.
On the home pages.
Yep. Either way, we got it for 7 years.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry, it is the 19th.
Wow, that's a real good chief. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, I said it 100 times, and I was looking at the calendars, so I kind of got mixed up. But yeah. So yeah, February 19th. Okay. All right, DL, you there? Okay, I will skip DL and go to Eddie for now.
Eddie's taking a piss. He'll be right back.
Oh.
In 30 seconds. 15 seconds.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to just quickly bring something up. Voxer, Hamachi, and a couple other programs that we use, they're free, and they're very beneficial for multiple people. So if you guys don't have them, it's probably a really good thing to get, especially Voxer.
I mean, we talk about all random things on Voxer. We send pictures of when we're at work and stuff, so it's kind of cool to have. Is it my turn, Kix?
Yes.
Yeah, unless DL comes back.
I don't know about that. Okay.
That poses a good question, C4. Sorry to interrupt.
I think it's only Lucas, and it's because he has his ports forwarded. But yeah, I don't know.
I've got ports forwarded too.
Maybe Travis can talk about that later. He's pretty good at that stuff. So, I'll make mine quick. I know we started a little late, but we still have a couple of officers to get to. Let's see. So, with the battalion chief, I'll be talking mostly about the training department. Hope I won't make it too long here, but the training department, we've been trying some new things to see if we can not only improve the quantity of our training, but the quality of our training. I know that there was an issue brought up, and I fully support the issue. Our training instructors should be training y'all. We shouldn't be marking you down and then not helping you after, or we really shouldn't be waiting till the end of the game to let you know if you do something wrong. I totally agree with that, and that's something that I appreciate y'all coming to me to telling me. Right now, since the training department is slower, it died down a lot because we're getting people knocked out. We're going to be trying, like I said, a new thing in the next couple of weeks. As of right now, we are completely set with training instructors to the point where the captains have been asked to step back and let the LTs do most of the trainings. We have more than enough officers. Because of that, we will not be opening up an F2 position anytime soon until we need it. And that's just because I'm going to give you all a couple of stats here about, what has been going on. Right now is a slow month. It's always a slow month in the, March, April, January. All of these is always slow months. And we didn't anticipate... Javi, do you have something?
No.
We didn't anticipate that when we decided to hire all these new officers. And right now we are overstaffed on officers, I want to say. We had 18 people total who applied this month in February. January we had 30 people. And I think December we had like 50 people. 25 people applied for training. 19 people passed with certifications. Javi's going to announce all 19 who passed. Out of those 19 people, we had 4 probies get promoted this month. That's for 2 reasons. Number 1, we just don't have the amount of people that are we don't have the amount of members joining. And number 2, we don't have the probies getting their games done. And in the officer staff, the rule and the mentality, and I mean, it's no secret here. Y'all probably already know. The mentality was, it is y'all's job to get a hold of us. If y'all don't get a hold of us, y'all don't get your training done. And yes, we can sit here and have the mentality all the time, but we decided to try something new. And we are now making the officer's job to get a hold as a member as well. With that being said, we decided to try out the training instructors. And what this will allow us to do is more one-on-one training with the member. For example, I have Cam Hizzle for his paramedic. So now what I can do is I can get a hold of Cam Hizzle today or tomorrow and let him know, hey, why don't we start getting some training done? I'm not talking about a training game. I'm talking about, I want to sit down with you, Cam, and I want to go over paramedic stuff so I can make sure as an instructor you're going to pass your paramedic the first time you get it done. That is my job now. He's my person to train, and I'm not going to be getting up to him and telling him, hey, we're going to do your paramedic tomorrow, be ready. I haven't taught you anything, and if you pass it, you pass it. That's not right. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. And we're going to try this new approach. Your training instructor is going to get a hold of you. He should be getting a hold of you if he hasn't already, and we're going to make sure he does. And he's going to schedule sessions and things for you to get your training done. I'm not saying training games, I'm saying training. There's a difference. And when he feels that you're ready, he's going to recommend you for a training game, and he'll do your training game. It's simple as that. This will overall improve the quality of the training to make sure that we get them done the first time. And I think all in all, we're going to try it for a month. If it doesn't work, we're going to cold-heartedly go back to the old ways. I know that I've been hearing complaints. I think the first hour that we implemented this, I had like 5 people message me saying it's not going to work. I can see where you're coming from. I've been hearing it for a while now. Honestly, I've never had a valid reason why it's not going to work. Everybody says it doesn't work. Everybody says it doesn't work in OD. I've never heard why it doesn't. And, back then, I remember it working perfectly fine. It was working great. I don't know why we changed to this new model, and that's not my decision. It wasn't my decision, but we're going to try this, and if it doesn't work, we will go back to the old ways. Javi, go ahead. I got one thing. One of the reasons why people are saying it's not going to work is because since you training instructor is assigned with you, it's going to be very hard sometimes to get a training game going because it's not really the best match. We tried our best to match you guys with the correct training instructor to do with the time zones. Now, here's the other thing. You can still get on TeamSpeak and you can still do a spur of the moment training. That's perfectly fine. We don't encourage it, but it could happen. There are going to be times where maybe I can't get a training game going with my with my person that I'm assigned to just because it just doesn't work. It just keeps getting pushed back or something. other training instructors can do other trainees' training as long as they inform their training instructor that they're going to get done, if that makes sense. So that can still happen. If you can't get a training game scheduled with your training instructor, another training instructor can pick it up as long as they let that other person know that I am doing it. Basically. Go ahead, Eddie. Yeah. So basically, like he just said it in a nutshell. The captains also agreed as the whole, and that was their decision, and I fully support it, that the captains are going to take more of an administrative role and supervise the department. The captains, if you've noticed in the training sheet, the captains weren't assigned many people for training. It was all Tier 2, Tier 3 and evaluation games. All the lieutenants are taking care of the Tier 1s. And that's because the captain's main job now is to teach the lieutenants how to train. Teach them that, hey, you can pause the game and you can explain the situation. Or you don't have to wait till after the game to let the person know that he messed up. No, do it before the game. Do it in the middle of the game. Tell him what he did wrong and fix it. That's your job as a training instructor. And that's something that we're going to have the captains more look at. That's their job, is to make sure that gets done. There was a member recently who filed a PF against it, and I was upset about it, but he was right. I mean, he really was right that the training department needs to get in check and start getting these people trained. Not only, we can't judge a training department by the amount of trainings we do, we have to judge a training department by the quality of trainings they do. And we're gonna try to get back to that. We're gonna try to get that going here, and that should be it. One thing after that, if anybody has a question, you're more than welcome. One thing I want to just real quick bring up is complaint I had. This is right off the topic. We have complaints that members are. This is the first time I heard it. Members brought up a complaint because some guy had to leave in the middle of the game because he had a call. There's nothing we can do about that. 95, 97% of the people here are real firefighters. If they have a call, they're going to go. You can't come to complain to us. That's just the nature of the game. I mean, he's going to leave. If a training instructor is a volunteer and he has a call in the middle of a game, he's gone. I'm sorry, but he's leaving. He's not going to sit and explain to you what the call is. He's going to leave. So that's just something that we're just going to have to deal with. I mean, Kicks, I don't know what you would even want to do with that. I don't see if we even have to fix that.
I don't think that there should be anything done about that, because I know if I get a call, I'm gone.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a volunteer. I mean, yeah, no. I've left a couple games that, I've gotten a call and I had to go. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well,
I think the game, team speak, done, I'm gone.
I think the complaint came from, I'm not saying that if you're not a firefighter, you can't be here. If anybody's not a firefighter in this room, you're more than welcome to stay here. I think the complaint came from a guy who's not a volunteer firefighter, and he was upset saying, well, they should be off duty. Well, volunteer firefighters are never off duty. They're always on duty. They're going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're 24/7, 366.
Doesn't matter if you're a firefighter or not. Real life stuff comes first before some game. Agree. I really don't care what people have to say. It's too bad. My real life stuff's going to matter before whatever else.
I think that's
if you
want
to cry me a river about it, that's too bad.
I think that's one of the few PAFs that when it does come in, if it does come in, then the chief staff is just going to, kind of throw it underneath the rug. We'll inform you that a PF was filed against you, but I mean, we're not going to do anything about it.
So are we supposed to tell our fire department, oh, we had to, deal with an issue on TeamSpeak real quick. We'll be on the way.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's
Are we, we gotta tell our chief officer, do we gotta tell our officer at the firehouse, oh, I'm not gonna come in tonight because I'm gonna be online gaming with a bunch of people. No, no.
Our patients are, people's houses who's burning up. Sorry, we had a TeamSpeak issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of us in here are volunteer EMS.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right?
I just spilt my pop all over my desk.
Okay, I'm pretty much done. Trox, you're next.
Alright, I have a few things to bring up. The first thing is, it's been brought to my attention that a lot of people are posting negative comments on the suggestions forum. And so I have a few things to say about that. The first thing is to keep it positive. Don't go to the extent of insulting other people's suggestions. If you don't like it, suggest an alternative. But if you don't have an alternative, then you should probably just leave it alone. Moving on to Voxer Messages. Honestly, I personally don't like my phone going off 90 times, but that's the reason why I'm not in most of the Voxer groups. But a lot of people have been complaining about that, so if you're going to be talking off topic or having a long discussion with someone, just be courteous and take it to somewhere else, a private conversation or a different room.
Yeah, a really good suggestion I suggest is I had the same problem. I put my phone on vibrate for Voxer, so I never hear that constant annoying now at this point because it happens all the time, especially when Kix has to message me for every 5 minutes when he's drunk. Anyways, I get a vibration now only, and I don't have to hear that all the time.
The last thing I'm going to talk about is Harbor City mod. A couple people have been messaging me, oh, hey, what's going on? Why isn't there updates about it? I'm not saying a word about it. Check the release notes. I'm not saying a release date or anything. Me and Blackguard have been extremely busy. I know I have been super busy with my life, so I don't have any updates in regards to that. So with that being said, that's all I have to talk about.
I don't think that you guys should be questioning about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
You know? Not trying to sound rude about it, you know, but, you know, modding and scripting is a time-consuming process, so it's going to take a little bit of time. What game do you know that actually comes out on its start date, you know?
Yep, they always push it back. All right, Francis, do you have anything? I know he's probably asleep by this time.
I'm still awake. Especially for you guys. No. One thing, my job is to approve trainings, and I saw a lot of applications that were basically filled out incorrect or incomplete. The idea is that if you fill out a training application, that you fill out your name and your IT number, both of them, and just one application at a time, not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, 8. Just one training application at a time, and then we can fill it out on a training spreadsheet. If you're not eligible to do it, that's not so bad, but just one training application is enough. Don't want to come off rude, but it's getting a little bit annoying that we always have to track down what they actually want to do or who it is and whatsoever. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a member fill out application for PD, and then the next day he put it out for dispatch, and the next day he put it out for EMT, and then he put it out for fire the next day. It's like, you want to do all 4?
He's in his channel.
It's crazy kids nowadays.
I've been guilty of that once.
Okay, Javi, I think it's all yours. Alrighty, 2 things I'm going to start off with, and I'm going to end with the promotions. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can because I am tired as well as everybody else probably. Francis, thank you for talking about that. I was going to talk about that, but just to verify or clarify with it, 1 training request at a time only, please. Make sure you put in your name and your ID number when you put in your training request. It might be kind of stem back to us. When you pass your PAT test, we're supposed to tell you put in only 1 training request. We might be telling you just put in a training request, but we're not telling you you're only allowed to put 1 at a time. But it is part of the rules, and I'm sure someone will probably link them on the rules somewhere. But yeah, it's part of the rules, only 1 at a time. Next thing, Eddie touched up on this, and I'm gonna touch it up again. 2 things. Number 1. The captains agreed to take a step back. We're going to try to train these lieutenants on how to actually train. Right now, the way it kind of is when you do your training game, it's not a training game, guys. This is the way people are doing it, it's a checkout game. We're kind of, this is wrong. I'm telling you right now, this is wrong. But what they're trying to do right now is, people do the training game and we're not training you. It's supposed to be you know, if you're having trouble on size up, the training instructor is supposed to sit down with you for however long it takes and go over size up. If the training instructor just can't do it, then you get assigned to someone else. If you're having trouble on evoc, then you're working on your evoc. You're not just playing a training game, checking out on it, and if you fail, you fail. No, you're supposed to be pausing the game during the game and telling them what they're exactly doing wrong and fixing it right then and there, and not expecting, oh, well, you fell because you just did this and I never explained how you do this. No. So we're going to be working on that as best as we can. Training instructors cannot be failing people, and we discussed this in the meeting, but I'm just telling you guys right now as members so you know this is wrong, and I don't want y'all to expect that this is something that is correct way and that the training instructors are not getting, you know, they're not getting told that this is the wrong way or whatever about it. Training instructors cannot be failing people in training games for something they're doing wrong that is not in SOPs. If people are putting on SCBAs or not putting on SCBAs for a fire alarm, you can't be getting felt on that. And if you are getting felt on that, you need to let someone know. That is not part of the SOPs. The way it stands right now is some people like putting it on, some people don't like putting it on. Fine, that's your preference. A training officer can say, hey, I would rather you put it on and I like putting on a BA for a fire alarm, but if you don't put it on, I'm not felling you for it. Can't happen.
I agree. That was one of my biggest issues when I was training, was I wasn't getting the proper training. I was just always told at the end that I was doing wrong, what I was doing wrong, but then told, oh, you had to do it this way, you had to do it this way, and then expected to remember 2 days later exactly what they said, how to do it.
And I completely appreciate everybody, whoever has come forward and say that this is what's going on, because it shouldn't be like that. It's probably captains or probably battalion chiefs a little far for not kind of training correctly, but I admit maybe it is a little on us. We didn't really train our lieutenants as well as we should have, but just so you guys know, that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a training game, not a checkout game. You have to train people, you know. And the promotions. Here we go. Okay, so for the promotions for this month, congratulations to everybody that got promoted. I'm going to tell you guys names right now. I'm going to start with Fire, EMT, and then PD, and then Dispatcher. So, UMSC 899, Firefighter 1. Lazarus, Firefighter 1. Jake the Snake, Firefighter 1. Newkirk, Firefighter 1. Francis, Firefighter 3. Congratulations, guys. Next one for EMS, you got Thomas D, EMT Basic. Crazy Person 225, EMT Basic. Tyler S, EMT Basic. C4 181, EMT Advanced. And for KME 2014, got the EMT Paramedic. Congratulations, guys. Cam Hees 1, Police Officer PD. Goliath 810, PD, Police Officer. DL, Detective, and Fire 81 got his SWAT.
Nice.
Dispatch. Ranger Dog got Dispatch 1. IMAX got Dispatch 1. PB, Dispatch 1. Jazzer, Dispatch 1. And Cam He's Dispatch 2. Especially congratulations on you guys. I know Dispatch is very difficult. That's why I just don't want to do it. I have no interest in Dispatch, but I've heard it is extremely difficult, so an extra congratulations on you guys.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, we may have missed a couple of people. That's just because we tallied these up a week ago. We usually tally it up to get prepared for the meeting, so your name will be promoted or will be announced in the next meeting. I guarantee it. Yeah, Dispatch is
hell of a job.
Yeah, Dispatch is hard.
It was a pain in the butt, but I got it.
Yeah. Oh, and I am done. Okay, I'm actually next.
Thanks. Well, I want to keep everything short and sweet. I'm just going to talk about the newsletter. It's going to be coming out fairly soon. Should be the next month. There's going to be a few articles. Some are going to be, there's going to be a liaisons corner, modders area, kind of the liaisons talk about it. There's going to be an officer of the month.
was moved out of your channel.
Sorry about some background noise. In addition, there's going to be some other articles. It's going to be a fairly long newsletter, and you can expect it next month. And that's me.
And just to touch up a little bit on that newsletter, if nobody knows, we are doing a newsletter. It's been something we've been wanting to do for a while. I know a lot of us members, or most of you members, y'all can't see it. Only it's really to the officers right now. But I'll tell you right now, I'm really excited about it. It looks really good. We've been wanting to do it for a while, but we've been trying to find the right person to do it. I can honestly say that with IMAX doing it, I think we found the right person because he's getting it done, and he's getting it done the right way. Eddie, you said mid-March? Mid-March, we have a lot of articles. Hobby's working on a command article. Kix is working on his article. The liaison. We got a lot of stuff going on, so hopefully we get it going. So mid-March, hopefully we're expecting that. We haven't really figured out how often we're going to do it, maybe every month or stuff like that. If there's anybody that wants to help contribute or anybody that has skills, you can get with me, Eddie, you can get with IMAX, you can get with anybody and just kind of bring it out there because I think with the people we got right now, we're pretty set. But if you have some skills, you want to contribute, you want to even make some sort of article that, because it's not just for officers that can make this article. If anybody wants to make like a screenshot of the month or just something, you can do it. It's perfectly fine. Okay, Jazzer, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything right now other than congratulations to everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody, taking the time to get your promotions done, and congratulations to everybody. So we'll go down the list. Unless any office, DL, we think we missed you. Okay, he's probably asleep. Okay, at this point, we will open it up to the members. Someone's outside. Sorry, yeah, we'll keep this recording. We'll open it up to the members, and we'll go on the list. So we have Travis. Good old Travis.
I would like to be known as the Travis from now on.
Okay, the Travis, go ahead.
All right, I have nothing.
What?
I'll make sure I put that in your profile, Travis, under AKA.
All right, actually, I guess I'll say one thing, and it's just a matter of people need to take this as a game in a community and not get upset and take things personally. That's just for any kind of situation. Just because something doesn't happen the way you want it to does not mean it's an attack against you or anything. Whether that be a choice that the officers decided, they don't want to implement this change, or they do want to implement this change and you opposed it. It's not anything against you, so don't take things personally. When you see things happen around the squad, as well as, if you see people doing things you don't want them doing, put it in a path, talk to an officer, but don't take things personally and make a big deal out of it. It's my biggest thing.
You should run for president. Okay, Dow, you have anything?
Nothing.
Jackson?
Be nice to people and rip Ashley Gundam.
My fellow firefighters.
Yeah.
Okay, Ditto, you have anything?
Nope.
Kami?
Where to begin?
Okay, hold on, we'll get to you last then.
No, actually, it's not going to be that long because I got to bounce pretty shortly because I'm having people over. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, first issue. I've talked to it with a couple private officers. Not going to name names of any sort, anything like that. There has been a certain individual officer. Like I said, not going to name any names. If you guys want to know who it is, I will contact you privately. Severe attitude issue. I feel that I have been, and I am actually going to file a PAF afterwards. Anyway, very disrespected. Hasn't been here that long. This individual the other night pretty much told me to go F myself because apparently I didn't know what I was doing in the game. The individual in my opinion, I don't believe that he should be an officer with the attitude problem that he has.
Let me real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I just have one question. Is this person still an officer?
Yes.
Okay, because can you go look at the roster right now and just double check? Because we did fix an issue, and we really take offense to officers acting like that, and we fixed it. If we were talking about the person.
I'm looking at him in this chat room right now.
Okay.
Ooh.
Shots
For whatever I did, alright?
I know what he's talking about.
You know, some individuals know what I'm talking about, like I said. But, yeah, it was very disrespectful. So I personally don't think this individual should be an officer any longer. They aren't really cleared to do anything, so I don't know why they're an officer to begin with. But then the attitude issue really pushed me over the limit. And you guys are lucky that I did not bitch them out. Sorry for the profane language, but that's how ticked off that I got. Next issue.
Well, when we stop on that issue,
okay.
What I highly recommend for you to do then is to put in a PAF. Some people think that even if someone's the chief, PAF don't get involved with them. If Kix gets a PAF out against them, the fire marshals handle it. If a chief gets a PAF out against him, the fire marshals, that's the rule. The fire marshals handle it. So even if it's the head person here, you file a PAF on him and we'll handle it.
Okay. Done deal. Next issue with the FTO poll that you guys put up recently. I'm not, honestly, I really don't care that I didn't get it. With that former issue, you officers know what happened with the individual who got it. But my concern is, why was there several names on there who have one certification, tier 1 certification? This isn't really an issue, but this is more of the fact that what did you guys see in them that they would be able to train a member to do, other than that one certification?
We decided...
You guys know the list, so you know who it consisted of, so I'm just curious, why were those individuals on there if they have one certification and that's it?
We decided as a group back in December when we decided to open up the actual FTO positions that since it wasn't a high position, then they are allowed to have, I'm trying to find it here. If anybody can find the FTO application that I had up, it's in there. But that was the minimum requirements. The minimum requirements was one certification, and we felt that as an FTO, you would get trained off to do more as you go. Since it was such a low rank, since the FTO was such a low rank and we had so many people that were interested in it, we kind of saw it as a stepping stone into the officers, and we wanted to get as many people a chance in order to do it.
Okay. Because when I was an FTO, I didn't get the position one time because I didn't have my police tag. My police officer tier 1 tag. And somebody else got that over me who had fire, EMTB, and PD. So I'm just curious why that's changed, and we never heard about, other than the fact that it was posted, the minimal requirements. But, you know what I mean, like, why is that changed? If an FTO is a training officer, shouldn't they at least have a certification in each?
Well, that's a good question, because look at Javi. Javi doesn't even have his PD or dispatch, but the thing is that Javi, the reason why, we're going to get Javi there eventually, at least the basic, but Javi can train tier 3 on both EMS and fire, and in all honesty, it took Javi 3 times longer to get those tier 3s than it did to even get any of the other ones. So we look at the officer as an individual and see if he has any master tags. That's an automatic go because he has a master tag and he's going to be able to train the higher ones. Go ahead, Alvi. So I can speak a little bit on this. When we look at promoting FTO or when we look at promoting lieutenant, we look at so many aspects of it. It's not just how many tags you have, it's not how long you've been here, but it's how you work with other people. Those people that are, and I don't have the list in front of me, but if they were on the list for an FTO and they didn't have those, you know, tier 1 tags, it's because we saw something else in them that most likely they're extremely good at talking to other people, extremely good at training, and they saw a potential. They just haven't been here for that long to get those certifications. And like Eddie said, since it was such a kind of low position where we figured maybe we can groom them and get those certifications, we allowed them to be in the running. I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah. To go back on you though, I agree with you that there has to be and there should be some sort of minimum requirements. We talked about it, we haven't made it yet, but I'm sure we are going to make it soon, that there's going to be some sort of minimum requirements you have to have for not just the FTO and lieutenant positions, but for even maybe those higher positions, captains and you know, chiefs. Because I believe there should be something.
Okay. I mean, because in my opinion, just what good can they do to the squad? I mean, I'm not, you know, shooting down any officer or anything like that because they don't have all their tags or anything like that. That's no problem whatsoever. But I just think that if you're going to be an officer who's going to be able to train people, you should be able to train at least tier 1 and everything. But, you know, that's just my opinion. That's, you know, that's how my mental process works. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and we got to make sure we're very careful on that, because whenever a new person joins, one of the main reason why they're joining is because we tell them they have an option to get all 3 basics, or to just, for example, I don't know if PB is going to do it, but I think one time PB expressed to me that he wants his dispatch only. He has 2 now, but he wanted to max out his dispatch tag, period. That's all he wanted to do.
Okay.
And,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing that because I thought that we only had to at least get 1 cert, so I was just going to go for strictly dispatch and just do nothing but dispatch. But then I found out I could do others, so I decided to expand my horizons, if you guys understand what I'm saying.
And sorry to speak on maybe another point of view on this. As everybody knows, I don't have my P2 dispatch. I absolutely hate it. But until they make it a rule, and if they do make it a rule that I need to get it, then I absolutely will, until, you know, they force it upon. But as of now, I'm not, you know, I just don't like it. I don't want to do it. But if they make it a rule, you know, I will.
Well, completely understandable. You know, I'm totally fine with that. I was just curious why certain individuals on that poll had like 1 tag. You know what I mean? And the one individual had a dispatch only tag. Like, that's, you know, so not only would they only be able to train dispatch, but, you know, unless the probie is going for dispatch only, they wouldn't be able to train that individual until they have EMT basic and Fire 1 anyway. Because that's the minimal requirement to go for dispatch, isn't it still?
What was the question?
Yeah, I was looking at PB's text. Go ahead.
So, no,
it's not.
It's not. Okay.
I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it just so I can get on the same level?
No, so my question was, if there was one individual on the FTO poll who had, at the time that the votes were getting casted, had a dispatch-only tag. With that being said, that individual would only be able to train dispatch-only probies and or have to wait till the probie got Fire 1 and EMT basic. But now that I know that, you know, in order to get your dispatch tag, you don't have to have Fire 1 and EMT basic, you know, you could just get dispatch. So I didn't read up on that, so that one's on my ear. But anyway, yeah, okay.
I don't see anybody who is on the FTO as being dispatch only on the FTO poll, but that's besides the point.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, go ahead. What?
So what I asked down there is that a possibility, or do I need to have the basic certs in fire and EMS?
Well, it says that you need to have. Oh, I see what you did, because I didn't. Okay, this is the old one, and the new one I did say you can have dispatch as well, basic. So you would be able to be good because dispatch is now a full tag, so basic tags count.
Okay, because I worked with KG quite a bit. I'm pretty sure there's some guys in here that can vouch for that, and he actually passed.
Yep.
Based off of me. I mean, and I took a lot of time out of my schedule to sit down with this guy and work with this guy on his dispatch, and he passed it with flying colors today. I was like extremely ecstatic, like really happy for him today. Like
Took him under his wing.
right, and I'm willing to do that for anybody. You know, if I know what I'm doing, if I know the cert, if somebody needs help, I don't care what I'm doing. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll go and help them. That's just the type of person I am.
PBZ80 55-20 for 2017 president.
Alright, let's try to get back a little bit on topic here.
Okay, sorry. Last issue I have. Eddie, this probably is going to be directed at you because I heard through the grapevine that it was your idea.
Well, hang on, because I'm still writing this thing out. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
And you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Training officer or training instructor issue. We already had a brief discussion. I would just like to voice my points if that's okay with everybody. Today, Francis, my training instructor for dispatch is Jazzer. You know, great guy, cool, no problem. My issue is Jazzer was not able to do it today because he had prior commitments. So, you know, I Voxered Jazzer, and he said it's okay for Francis to do it. My only problem with this whole new training instructor thing is, and I know it's only a trial period, but my only issue is, don't the officers already have enough on their plate that if the probie or member wants to get their tag, they should be able to come to the officer and say, look, I want my tag, can you please do this? You know, like, I don't think it should be the officer going to the the trainee saying, okay, we can do it now. Like, in my opinion, it should still be the other way around. If the probie or member wants a tag so bad and they apply for training, it should be their job to go to an instructor and say, look, hey, can you do this for me, please?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
But let me ask you something. You can see it like this. Let's think about it as a street. Is more traffic going to flow on a one-way street or a two-way street?
Two-way.
That's all we're doing here. We're just making a two-way.
Okay, fair enough.
For a while. We'll see how it works. But
okay.
We've always been under the mentality that, yes, the probie should have the, what's the word? Should have the...
Initiative.
Should have to get a hold of an instructor, and that's great. But we're seeing such a dropout. We're removing people almost every week because they don't start the training within 2 weeks. If they don't start the training within 2 weeks, that's because that's the only reason they haven't started the training is because they have not got a hold of an officer. And we can we can sit here saying, well, you know, I think it's a little intimidating for people to get a hold of officers, and we've been here long, so we don't see that, but we're just going to see if this is going to help out the amount of trainings getting done.
Okay.
I guess the issue was yesterday and today. Yesterday I was on, the wife yelled jump. I didn't ask questions, I just jumped and worried about it later. But today we had the same issue. Well, your instructor needs to be the one to do your training. But what if their instructor isn't available? Can't they have somebody else do their training for us?
Like Eddie said, it's a two-way street. So if your instructor isn't available and there's another officer on that will do it in the spur of the moment, then you can do that as well. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a big misunderstanding there because yesterday they said, oh, I can't do it because so-and-so is your instructor, and then today happened, but now that I got that understanding, that's even greater. Thank you.
Are you talking about me training KME yesterday?
Yeah, remember you said you couldn't do it without a captain being on?
Just without
I couldn't do it
permission
because I'm not
yeah.
signed off.
Right.
Well, okay, so there's a difference between he can't do it because he's not signed off, and he can't do it because he's not the training instructor. So I'm just hoping we'll make that clear.
Okay. Quick question. Then I'm done talking because I gotta go. But I'll read the minutes later. With this new whole trial training instructor going to the member thing, why would you assign an officer to a trainee if he's not checked off to do it? I understand it's really easy to do, and I'm not, you know, saying anything against Jazzer because I know it's really easy to do. He's a great guy, you know, love him. But I mean, he's not checked off to do dispatch, so why was he assigned to me to do dispatch training?
Was he?
Yes, he's my training instructor. I didn't know if I was the only one that happened to, or if there were others. I'm guessing that you tried not to do that. I was just
I didn't do that. If I did that, it was because
Okay.
it was a mistake.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, you know, I'll keep Jazzer as my instructor. He's a great guy. You know, and it's real easy to get checked off on a certification. I was just curious.
Well, you can't. If Jazzer's not, you have to switch. If Jazzer is not checked off, Jazzer can't do your training. I don't know why.
Okay.
We're gonna have to give you something messed up along the line when we assigned. That's what happened.
Okay. I was just curious. You know, I just a simple question. That's all.
I'll reassign you some other training instructor. Then I'll do that tonight. And same thing with PETA. It looks like PETA's assigned Jazzer as well. We can do that, or we can just get Jazzer checked off on dispatch, and then. Jazzer, you have dispatch tag?
Yeah, I got the tag. It's just all the timing's been off, and I haven't been able to get a captain or hire on in order to watch me. So that's it.
Okay, well, we'll fix it then. We'll either get you checked off, or we'll just assign another instructor. I'll put that on notes as well. Right, do you have anything else, Cammy?
I think that's my last. That was the last point I had on my mile-long list. But like I said, I'll read the minutes. But it was great being here, guys. I'll see you later. Thank you for clearing everything up.
We'll see you.
See you, Kimmy.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay, who was next because he left?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say I think it's great that everybody's got their opinions and they want to put them out and make sure that everybody's heard it and they understood it and all the captains and officers are on the same page with us. But I know Travis already talked about it, but don't let it get to the point where it starts causing drama between people in the clan and that starts becoming an issue, because I've been in several other clans where I've sat here and watched this like get to the point of where everybody just leaves the clan and then we don't have a clan anymore. Like I don't think anybody wants that to happen, but just please let's not have that happen, because I've watched it happen too many times before.
Okay, good point. Appreciate it. Cam, you have anything?
We are good.
What?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Cody?
Well, I don't have anything to talk about anything, but I'd like to talk about something else.
Okay.
Is it alright with you, Eddie?
Good.
Well, right now, you take a look here. I made a Squad55 t-shirt. If you guys want to, the t-shirt costs about $31. If you guys want to buy one.
Okay, and you're finished with the t-shirt. I know we were talking about it, and we made a post on the forum. Is this the final one?
User disconnected from your channel.
There are two different colors. One is blue and the other one is black.
Okay, well, it looks great. We can definitely post this on the forums, and we'll make sure that we put a link, and if anybody wants to order one, they can.
Alright, thanks.
No problem, PB. You have anything?
Yeah. I guess DL was supposed to be the one that brought this up, but I guess I'll bring it up.
Yeah, he's probably not here.
DL, are you there or no? Nope. Okay. It had to do with dispatch. When it comes to the tones, the tone outs, the call outs, basically. My issue is for box 25s, it should be toned out as a medical call, not a fire call, for one. And also, if EMS and fire are two separate entities, then why are we only using one tone for two separate entities? So I brought up the fact of using two tones if both fire and EMS are needed. And if it's just a fire call, then fire tone goes out. If it's just the EMS call, then the EMS tone goes out. But if it's both, I think that both should be toned out at the same time, not just one tone for both companies. Now, when I first started playing, I would ignore one tone because I would hear it and think that they were just calling out just strictly fire since they had those two tones. And I was told that they were two separate entities, so I would ignore it. And some of the times I wouldn't even hear it because of the fact that I only heard that one tone, if you guys understand what I'm getting at.
Well, let's talk about the first one. So, box 25, motor vehicle crash, you think it should only be toned out as EMS?
Yeah, because it is an EMS call. It's mainly strictly EMS.
Fire units respond.
User disconnected from your channel.
You're talking about a motor vehicle crash?
Yeah. Motor vehicle accidents is an EMS issue.
What about
execution? Rescue, which is a fire that takes a tone, plus fire does extrication, and there's also the possibility of fire itself, which would also be a fire thing. The only thing that EMS does is that they treat the wounded and then transport.
Okay, so name one motor vehicle accident that you haven't had an injury at, a medical injury on. Name one, even in real life.
Name one vehicle accident that you haven't had extrication in the game.
But that's what I'm getting at. They should be at least either toned out with two tones.
Okay.
Or
sorry, no. I thought you were saying it's only an EMS tone. If you want both, then I mean, then you're doing something about something else. That's fine. Yeah. Well, the box 20. I totally agree with you. My microphone. I agree with you, two tones. Back in the day, we used to have a tone for every single district, as you can see on the old tones. The reason we changed it, and I'm not here to argue that we should change it back, that's up to the members and that's up to y'all. We'll put it in the suggestions. The reason we changed it is because the time that it took for someone to dispatch out a call, we wanted to shorten it down. At least I wasn't here when the change was happening, but that's what I was told.
But if you think about it, the fire tone and the EMS tone are fairly short.
Yeah,
so both of them together wouldn't really hurt, you know?
Shit. Hold on, I think I have something for you.
There was a majority poll that passed quite a long time ago that there were a lot of people saying that we were taking way too long at our dispatch times, and the solution was to reduce the amount of tones. We were playing 3 or 4 tones at a time and reduce it down to 1 tone, and that made everybody happy, so...
Well, yeah, see, 3 or 4 tones at a time is a little redundant too. I think that's pitiful. But at least 2 tones, since they're 2 separate entities, and like I said, these tones are fairly quick, so it wouldn't hurt to tone them both out, you know.
Well, I've got a software here that I can combine those 2 tones into 1 tone.
No, we don't need that. It's not that hard to click 2 buttons on there, you know.
I agree. I think it's something we could look at. I liked it when we used to do tones. I remember I even made a video about the suggestion because I was in the same position as you a couple of years ago about doing the 2 tones, and we ended up doing it. And I made like a little video presentation about it. I think it's a good idea. I just think that I do agree with the fact that it's shorter with 1 tone now. Back then, we used to have people just not even be at the computer, and when they hear their specific district tone, then they would actually get to the computer because they knew they were the ones getting toned out. And I like that, but I do see the point where they're saying where it takes too long, too.
Right. But I guess that we could set it up for a suggestion, you know, and set a poll on it. If need be, I'll set some examples to be placed in that poll so people can actually hear it and not just go by what they think it'll sound like, you know.
I hear you. With the it looks like with the new suggestion rules that DL put out, the officers will be the one that puts suggestion up, I think. Hold on, let me see. No. You're gonna post a suggestion, but you won't vote on it, and then we're gonna discuss it in the officer meeting. And if we feel that it's something that could be voted on, or it's a really good assessment that we can talk about, then we'll open it up to an actual vote, or for the members. I believe that's the way it is. Okay, well, PB, if you want to open a suggestion, and then after you put it up, I believe it gets locked. We'll talk about it not until about another month, honestly, because that's not till the next officer meeting. We just had one, and then if it passes, then we'll get it done.
Okay, and another thing is the communication over TeamSpeak when it comes to being in the ops channels. There's just way too much communication, like way too much. There's times where when I'm dispatching, I have to wait.
Is this necessary communication?
What's that?
Is this necessary communication? I would define, I mean, as necessary as it's in game. It's not about other things.
No, it's not about other games. This is necessary communication, but I think it should be separated some kind of a way, based off the fact like when scene commands are given size ups and given assignments, and then dispatch has another call. There's times where I'm finding myself waiting until the commanders give assignments before I can even tone out the next call, because it's important that they're given these assignments and these size ups, but it's also important that I have to dispatch another call. So there's times where I'm waiting an additional 30 to 45 seconds before I can actually tone out the next call.
Just play the tone. Just play it. Well, no.
But then I'm cutting off an assignment order then, and then there could be a possible way or a possible.
Dude, you're gonna start a discussion. I'm getting out. Holy shit.
I guess they won't get it out in time, and the fire spreads even further to where they're striking another alarm. You see what I'm saying?
I wouldn't want to get into so big of a discussion. I agree with you that it comes to the age-old question: who has more of authority, the dispatcher or the scene commander? And we have two separate ones. We only use one channel. Unfortunately, it's like one radio with everybody on the same one in dispatch. I don't like it. It's been like that for years, but we don't get in discussion in it right now because we've already had this meeting for so long. If you can still come up with an idea, like you said you were PB, maybe a dumbed down idea where we can just have two channels on TeamSpeak, some kind of whisper system, bring it up. If you can figure out something to fix it, bring it up. But as of right now, I mean, I don't want to we could sit here and talk about it for hours, and I think some of these guys are going to have to go.
First of all, that's not going to work. I can tell you as a TeamSpeak developer, that will not. You're going to have everyone on Whisper, and it's just going to be like everyone on one channel again. And Whispers just overtalk the Com 1 channel. So if I'm talking in Com 1, you want to talk to Eddie, you're whispering. You're still hearing me, even though I'm quieted down. But then Eddie couldn't hear what I just said, and I was trying to tell him that I want to move his engine, but you were trying to call out another call, so it's not going to work.
I hear you, Travis. Hold on, PB. Hold on. I hear you, Travis. I would get a hold of PB after this meeting. He knows how to do this stuff, and just talk to him. I don't need y'all to be bickering right now because we're gonna have to cut this short. But get a hold of him because PB knows how to do it. Travis.
Well, I'm
okay.
I've been only here for the meeting. I have to go home. I haven't been home yet.
Okay. I'll just say this real quick, Eddie. Travis, I myself am a TeamSpeak developer also, and there is a way to do it. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not gonna go into a discussion or a debate about it, but there is a way.
Okay. Bob, you have anything?
Not much, just one question. So I believe it was Friday I did my first EMT game, and first EMTB training game. I passed it, but both IMAX and Jazzer were in it, so I'm just confused on who was my real training officer then.
Just due to the actual situation, there's no one assigned to you right now, but I'm the one who did your actual training. It was Jazzer who was watching over me while I did your training.
Okay, well then what we'll do is, I don't think you're on the training chart yet. We're still going to add that in. We'll add you to the training chart and we'll assign you to IMAX. Wait, Bobtail's on. He's on the training chart? Who's he assigned to? IMAX. Okay, well then we're good. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
GPD. GPD, you got anything? I think he fell asleep. Okay, any officers have anything here? Oh.
That's it.
Alright, I think we're good then.
Honorary member wants to say that his nipples are feeling really tingly all of a sudden.
Can you just wait till I stop recording to say that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll wait.
You said it already.